Welcome to Busy Brain Club, where thinking is free and we should do more of it. Ford needs Tesla to help it be Tesla. Now, that don't make no sense, but anyway, let's go. This article comes from The Verge. Getting access to Tesla superchargers could help Ford go from number 2 in electric vehicles to number 1. But is that good for the industry? I don't know about this one. This one kind of loaded, but anyway, let's read. Last year, Ford surprised F-150 Lightning truck owners with an accessory that can recharge stranded Teslas. How nice. Now it looks like Tesla is the one lending a hand to Ford. In a surprise Twitter Spaces meeting between Ford CEO Jim Farley and Tesla CEO Elon Musk on Thursday, Farley announced Ford is adopting Tesla's North American charging standard. And for anyone that is unfamiliar with that, that is the Tesla, that's basically the connector Tesla uses. They've changed the name to the North American charging standard, and they've opened it to anyone who wants to use it. An open version of Tesla's proprietary charging port. We think it's a huge move from our industry and for all electric customers, Farley said on the call. On the surface, it seems ideal. The two biggest EV sellers working together for the benefit of electric vehicles' future. Ford customers get access to Tesla's supercharging network, and Tesla gets crucial buy-in from its charging technology from one of the top automakers in the world. But the buddy-buddy conversation between CEO sounded like Ford's bending the knee to Tesla as the real EV leader. Well, what do you mean Ford's bending the knee? Tesla is this world that we live in, where people think Tesla is not the leading EV maker in the US, in fact in the world, is crazy. And people need to wake up. On the same day the deal was announced, Tesla Model Y was declared the world's top selling vehicle, combustion engines or EV, by analytics firm. So basically Tesla has the number 1 selling vehicle without even mentioning the fact that it's electric. It's just the number 1 selling vehicle, the Tesla Model Y. On the Twitter space, Farley said it's super hard making better electric architectures as he massaged Musk and Tesla's achievements. The Ford CEO also recalled his own children roasting him about the ubiquity of the supercharger network on a recent road trip, asking him if they could stop at any one of them. The version of Farley that took jabs at Elon and the Cybertruck was nowhere to be found. Right, you started to see the achievement of Tesla. You started to see their network of superchargers, which you cannot miss. I'm in Florida, and every other place you go, you see a supercharger for Tesla. The other chargers aren't as visible. You see them here and there, but they're not as prominent as the Teslas. And so if Tesla is outselling every vehicle and they're building these superchargers network, all these auto manufacturers never had to create a network for gas stations. That was the job of someone else. But the standards were clear, your gas port or whatever it is. Now we are in a new world, and Tesla is becoming the dominant leader in that world. And they've built out the infrastructure for their charging networks. So why not adopt it? It's open to adopt, it's simpler, and the tech is better, as we'll see later on, as I'm going to show you. Farley said all of Ford's existing and future customers would get access to 12,000 Tesla superchargers across the US. See, 12,000. And for current EV owners, Musk said an adapter is expected to be in production early next year. That will be separate from Tesla's Magic Dock that allows non-Tesla EVs to plug into the supercharger network and are available in only a handful of locations in the US so far. The Tesla adapter for Ford EV owners will likely cost hundreds of dollars, Musk said, and both CEO hinted that subscription could also play a role in EV charging in the future. Beyond the adapters, Tesla seems to be opening more doors for its new partner. Farley said during an interview on CNBC Friday that Ford customers won't need to use Tesla's app. Instead, the charging sessions can be activated and monitored in the Ford Pass app, said Farley. When they go use the Tesla superchargers, they'll still be using Ford. We were very concerned if they had to switch over to Tesla software, but that was part of the deal. It was a deal breaker for us. So Ford didn't like the idea of if their customers are using the supercharger network, and you claim to say your supercharger network is now using the connector is open source. He didn't want you guys to, he didn't want his customers to use the Tesla app. And from what I've heard, Tesla has been helping Ford in terms of the software department because Tesla's software department is so superior. I believe Tesla is helping Ford in that department. So basically, under the hood, there's going to be a lot of Tesla engineers helping Ford's software team build that software so it integrates with the Lightning Network and integrates with Tesla's API or whatever it is without it affecting the user experience from a Ford standpoint. So that's good, and I would say that is also fair for most to allow that in order to give customers that option. You can't just be greedy all the time, you know. You see, he doesn't have to, but Elon Musk, he's a really nice guy. I know that's gonna hurt some people who don't like him, but yeah, he is. He's a very good guy. Get over it. Okay, in the EU, thanks to stricter regulations as usual, the Europeans, regulations around plug type, a far greater number of Tesla superchargers are available to non-Tesla EVs. And that clearly irks Musk, who complained on the call about being stuck with the CCS implementation in Europe and how even a private network in the region was barred from having proprietary port. European EV drivers, however, benefit from not needing to worry if a plug will fit or not, and don't have to deal with adapters as US EV drivers do. Musk said EV customers will be all the better for it if NACS, which is their standard, can win out as the main standard in North America. Yeah, let's look at the CCS connector. You see how this thing looks? Look at it. There's versions 2, type 3s, type it's a mess. Look at this. Give the government the job to make something, and this is what they come up with. Jesus Christ. Let's look at the Tesla connector. Let me see if I can search for it. Tesla Tesla charging port, right? Charging connector. Look at this thing. One simple little cable. I think that's probably what it looks like on when you pull it out. Simple. And I guess these are adapters from all the other. But look at it. See that? That's Tesla's version of it. Simple. Fantastic. All right, let's continue reading. Okay. In some sense, Ford didn't have a choice in the matter. Compared to Tesla superchargers, the company's so-called Blue Oval EV charging network is tiny. Cobbled together from a variety of third-party public chargers, drivers have found that they break down far too often, and many run on buggy software. Yeah, that is expected. And Ford couldn't wait for the third-party charging companies to build a network as reliable as Tesla's. It isn't clear they ever will. Pay attention. Even with billions of federal dollars rolling into the sector, and Ford is under a lot of pressure to get the ball rolling with their EV business. We're going to get into a little Ford business here. The company split itself into two last year, letting its profitable Ford Blue gas vehicle business exist separately from the new Ford Model E company focused on EVs. While Model E is hard at work to compete with Tesla on three-row EV options and autonomous driving, it also stands to lose 3 billion this year. Ford needs to sell a lot of EVs, and charging is a crucial component of it. Ford is smart. They separated the EV business because it's likely going to destroy their gas business. And yes, they have to swallow the pill and continue losing money year over year until they could get the production up. Because that's the whole thing. They have to be able to manufacture a lot of these vehicles for them to stop losing billions of dollars. Tesla had to go through it for years, and it's no different. There's no easy way out of it. Ford has to get their shit together. Anyways, in that respect, cutting corners to get Ford's Mustang E and F-150 Lightning customers more places to charge starts to make more sense, at least for the short term. Ford customers to be able to have this benefit early next year already and not have to buy a new car is, I think, a real statement by you and the Tesla team, Farley said. It's all a part of Elon's plan of adopting EV, and he doesn't care who else is in the picture as long as you play ball and they could increase the adoption of electric vehicles. He will help, and we're seeing it here. Tesla has built out the infrastructure and is willing to share with a likely competitor, but out of good faith in terms of getting EV adoption. Some things are not just about money, although Tesla is probably gonna earn a lot of money, uh, tagging on an extra fee here and there or subscription to Ford owners. But anyways, I digress. To my eye, Tesla plugs are objectively better than EV chargers today. Thank you. They're smaller, lighter, and easier to understand. But Ford may be leaving some opportunities on the table. How so? Let me see. The company move to adopt Tesla's NACS is taking the easy way out of the charging network problem. That's not the easy way out, that's the right way out. And while Ford hitches a ride on Tesla's bandwagon, other automakers like GM, Hyundai, and VW could see this as an opportunity to freely strike their own deals and innovate in the charging space. Jesus Christ, don't do that. If GM, Hyundai, and VW step in that pool of shit, they're guaranteed to get finished. Tesla is nowhere in the ballpark of slowing down. Now you have Ford in the picture, the number one and the number two EV makers in North America. Those two people are saying, okay, let's use the Tesla's standard charger. And if I wish them all the best, because it's likely a lot of them are gonna go bankrupt if they don't make decisions like this. Now Ford has selected Tesla, or Tesla has selected whatever. Now Ford is using Tesla's charging network. What that means is Ford doesn't have to be thinking about that problem. That's not a problem they don't have to waste manpower or engineers trying to figure out how to build out a charging network or how to cobble up disparate charging networks to have a cohesive interface. And no, none of that is necessary anymore. They have just eliminated a problem that would have taken them months or years to solve. Tesla has already solved it, so might as well, what do you call it, take a little bit of their success, like you get me, ride that coattail into the future. Both Tesla and Ford are also participating in an industry-wide consortium that includes big names like GM and Electrify America. Earlier this month, the Biden administration announced the group known as the National Charging Experience Consortium, or ChargeX, okay, to address the industry's public charging woes. And it set a deadline to find that solution in the next 2 years. Jesus Christ, the next 2 years. Sometimes I wonder how government, how does, just think about it. 2 years. Where will Tesla and Ford be in 2 years? Anyways, the consortium director, John Smart, told The Verge on a call Wednesday that the national labs have a goal that all EV drivers of any vehicle can charge on any charging equipment, specifically ones that are federally funded. The labs will try to help build a universal diagnostic system that works for all EV manufacturers, equipment OEMs, and charging network operators. But Smart tells us it's the free market's role what standard win out amongst participants. Well, if that's the case, why the government never leave it up to independent researchers to research these standards? We wouldn't have a CCS if the government would just, oh my God, talk to Elon Musk. Musk hinted during the Twitter space that along with handling our NACS as a standard, Tesla could even be more helpful to standardizing tech in the EV world. He likened its position to Android in the cell phone industry, once again claiming Tesla could potentially open source code to help other manufacturers. But Musk opened outreach to EV manufacturers could also be stepping on the toes of everyone involved in the ChargeX consortium, which is assembling for the first time next month. Of the consortium, Smart says this is a voluntary, non-binding arrangement between the labs and other organizations. There's value in working together, but ultimately anyone can walk away whenever they want. Like, what is the point then? What is the point? Anyways, that's the article. It's very interesting. That is the article. Very interesting. Ford is making the right moves. They have to weather the storm. I'm not sure about GM and the other EV makers, although I know Hyundai has been making a compelling vehicle. But if they don't get this standardized thing, they're gonna be relegated like the diesel cars that we never hear about. You know, they'll have a few charging networks here and there, and people die on a hill defending their CCS chargers until everyone adapts to the Tesla standard and just make everything easier. The problem is, I think there are people in the higher ups, perhaps in the government, that doesn't want Tesla to win, and this is an indication that they will win. But guess what? It's the market. The market is deciding. Just get with it, go with the flow, and save your ass some money and adopt the Tesla standard charging system, the NACS, something like this, Star Trek Enterprise, NCCS. Anyways, that's it for this article. I hope people have a better understanding of what is going on and have a good outlook as to the future of EV charging. I think this is a positive step in the right direction, and you should adjust your stock portfolio accordingly.